Magic moon dust remains where it shouldn't be and doesn't get where it should go. The thing is that the director of the lunar missions was a brilliant person. But he did not know the physics of jet engines, and did not know about the presence of raised dust. According to physics, a body that was flying at cosmic speed must extinguish all speed and practically stop before contacting the surface of the moon. For this, the same jet engine is used as for rocket acceleration. There is no air on the moon, so neither wings nor blades can help land on the moon. The peculiarity of a jet engine is that the gases come from the rocket in a very narrow beam of hot gases. The ejected gases are focused into a column of gas in the opposite direction to the engine to accelerate and decelerate the rocket. Gas molecules, having flown out of the engine, fly in a vacuum, without air resistance, in one direction until they completely lose their momentum energy received from the rocket engine. After losing energy, after hundreds of meters, the molecules disperse in different directions, dissolving in airless space. When they hit a surface, the gases disperse parallel to that surface, taking with them dust, stones and anything else that lies in their path. When reflected again from the surface, gas molecules with light dust rise upward. For example, it is better to take the Apollo 15 mission. It is well described. There is a video and also animation footage of the Apollo 11 landing. At an altitude of 45 meters, gases from the engine began to raise dust. At 18 meters the dust completely limited visibility. The jet engine operated up to a height of 3 meters. Immediately after turning off the engine, in a vacuum, the dust instantly settles vertically down. After a few seconds, the dust had completely settled. Dust could not settle under the body of the device because, in a vacuum, dust settles vertically. But dust easily settles on the base of the supports, which protrude beyond the module and look like a plate. It is believed that lunar dust easily rises upward from impacts. Even astronauts easily kicked up dust as they moved, leaving deep marks on the surface. The weight of the module on Earth is 5.5 tons. On the Moon it is 6 times less, 0.9 tons. The module also needed to be slowed down. For simplicity, let's take the force with which the gases are pressed equal to 1 ton, 1 t. The length of the descent vehicle's jet reached 45 meters and was strong enough to raise dust at such a height. During landing, the amount of dust was higher than the lander and completely limited the visibility of the astronauts. At a height of 3 meters, the force of the gas jet corresponded to the entire force of the jet engine and amounted to its maximum force on a small area of the surface. The force of gases of 1 ton at the landing site is thousands of times greater than the force of the astronauts' legs. The force of gases emitted towards obstacles can easily clear the road of a thick layer of ice, which is what utility services use. A force of 1 ton, at the landing site, should blow away dust hundreds of meters from the module, leaving either a funnel of dust, or blow away dust to a solid base. In the form of a rock, there are at least 2 animations of the lunar landing, created to provide a clear example of landing on the surface. And the result of the engine operation is also visible. There is another more recent animation of the lunar landing, which also shows the effect of jet thrust on lunar dust. Regolith. It turns out that according to all the laws of physics and aerodynamics, during landing there should have been a trace on the surface from which the dust would have been blown away completely or partially. There is no such trace during landing on any Apollo or on any Lunokhod. The second important condition when landing is that the dust should have settled on the support plates and covered them with a layer of dust. The paws of all Apollo mission vehicles are clean and do not contain a hint of fallen dust. The third condition is that without a thick layer of dust, the astronauts would not be able to leave their bootprints near the descent module. In all Apollo and Lunokhod missions, next to the vehicles, there is a thick layer of dust. in which traces of a person and the wheels of the Lunokhod easily remain. All photos show that the dust under the module is unchanged. The paws are clean and shiny, which indicates that these modules themselves did not land on the surface of the Moon. The same can be said about the Lunokhod sent to the Moon by the Soviet Union. No trace of the impact of the gas jet on the dust is visible anywhere. Images of the Apollo and Lunokhod missions taken by a modern probe also do not show any traces of engine operation. So these photos are fake. Thus, if all the photos and videos were taken next to the devices, which themselves did not land on the surface, then all these photos and videos were taken on Earth, and no one was on the Moon.